Hello and welcome to Experience Share. It's a Pokemon podcast starring me, Nidoran, aka Tanner Greenring. I am joined as always by my co-host, Gyarados. Red Gyarados.
Yeah, thank you. I'm shiny.
Aka Joshua Fjellstead. And we are joined as twice now by our guest, hailing all the way from Ireland.
Wow.
Fionnual.
Dugong!
Ooh.
Love it.
That's smooth, actually. I like that.
I enjoy that quite a lot.
Welcome back to the show, Fionnuala.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. When I got the initial email, I screenshot it and sent it to my friend Kerry, who also listens to this podcast, and just sent her the screenshot with the caption, horny.
Oh, I think she DM'd us at one point on Instagram, and I think I sent her a sticker, hopefully.
Yes, you did.
Great.
I assume you have not been playing along and you had to spend the last several weeks catching up. And I assume that because you told us so before we started recording.
Yes, so I was like humming and hawing as to whether I would buy the game and play along, because I hadn't actually played Heart Gold before, but I didn't do when you did Fire Red and Leaf Green, I didn't bother because I was like I've done it so many times before, whatever, yada yada. And then I was like, no, you know what? I really like this gen. I've never played it. Like, I have the DS. Like, I'll just get it. Bought a game off a guy. Thought it was, like, reasonably sound, whatever. Bought it, like, a couple of weeks ahead. And, like, a week before, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to get set up, whatever. Or the week he started, I was like, right, I'm going to start my game, whatever. Game would not work. Would not load past the whole thing where Oak is giving his spiel.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I've been had. I have been had majorly here. And then I was like, right, like, let's give this guy the benefit of the doubt, whatever. And then I tried playing as like a boy, and then it would let me go a certain bit further. And I was like, right, okay, here we are. The patriarchy
Oh, so it was
is maintained.
misogynist too.
Yes,
Wow.
It was misogynist. This is what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
But no, it just wouldn't work. So had to go back, get refunded for that, pay an extortionate amount of money for another copy. So I started when ye were at Goldenrod, so I was about 3 weeks behind, and then frantically caught up with you.
Very impressive. We're sorry that we're part of the reason that we've been driving up. It's the pandemic and Experience Share driving up the market for these games.
Yeah, I suspect so.
I told my boyfriend, I was like, I have to get another copy of this, and he was like, how much was it? And I was like, like €200. He was like, we're actively trying to buy a house at some point. And like, I don't know if you know about the housing market in Ireland. It's bad. It's really bad. And he was like, oh, I mean, whatever you're into, but he cannot comprehend it.
That's even worse than here. I was saying I dropped 180 on this one. The American dollars.
Good American dollars.
Yeah.
Although, where are we at? Euro's still better? So you're paying 200, which is like a premium on top of the dollar? Whoa.
There's a reason I do a pop culture podcast and not a money podcast. I could not even remotely tell you.
€1 to $1.21. So you're
There you
really in the hole on that one.
There you go.
Respete to that one.
Have to do for the craft.
This is a financial podcast now. We talk about shifting prices
Stocks,
between currencies across
crypto.
countries.
I don't want to touch crypto. I still don't know what the hell's going on with that shit.
It's a nightmare. Here's what happens with crypto. You put a bunch of money into it, and then fucking Elon Musk goes on SNL, and all of a sudden your money's gone. So,
Right.
Fionnuala, tell us a little bit about your character, your journey so far.
Yeah, how are you liking it?
We've made our way to Mahogany Town this week, but you've got a little catching up to do with us.
I loved some aspects of it, and like the sprites and everything. And I think the gyms are way cooler, obviously. And then I remember like playing Gold as a kid and feeling like the stakes were so much higher with all the rocket stuff. Like I really felt like something really dangerous was afoot and I really needed to stop it. Especially with this lake that we're going into. Yeah, exactly. Like I felt a true fear.
Yeah.
That is obviously lessened this time around because I am an adult. But oh my God, it's like hearing the music of like the specific places, but how it's like kind of elevated.
Oh yeah.
So nostalgic and lovely, but it's like new because I haven't played this specific game. So it's been good.
The rocket theme does sound great.
but it's still very ominous. Like, it's still,
Yeah.
it just gets right in there. Like, they have business. They have crime to do, and they are going to do it.
I also love the new, like, rocket splash screen when you go into a battle with Team Rocket with the little, like, R's that, like, shoot around everywhere.
Yeah.
Those were cool.
Oh, so cool.
I love that too.
They're good at branding,
Yeah.
Team Rocket.
Yeah, this is a very brand-heavy gen, I think.
Say what you will about any of the criminal syndicates in the Pokemon games, Team Rocket is the cleanest aesthetic, I think.
Oh, truly.
That's what I'd sign up for.
Unmatched. Unmatched.
Who's your guy?
I think I said this on the last episode that I joined you on. I said that my next character was going to be Miley Cyrus, and I was going to name them all after the 7 things that Miley Cyrus hated about Nick Jonas from the song 7 Things. So it was like vain, games, insecure, love me, like her. And then I had a Rapidash called Made Me Laugh, but it was just like, obviously because with the character limits, it was just made me, no spaces, LAF.
Good.
So I was like, let's go for a musical theme again for Heart Gold. So my character is Lou Bega. Not sure if you're familiar with him.
Oh,
sure, Mambo.
I know the Mambo.
Number 5. So I am Lou Bega. I am now a Pokemon trainer, and I am reminiscing on my one-hit wonder, Mambo number 5, and all the women that feature in that song as I make my way through Johto.
Oh my god.
So I have named all of my Pokemon after the women in Mambo number 5, which, I'm going to be honest, I decided that thinking that there were a lot more names in the song than there actually is. I had to keep going back and rename, like, anytime I, like, swapped someone out, I had to go back to the name reader and rename them like Sandra or Mary, depending on what way they'd slotted in.
Lou Bega has to, like, circle back to the top of his Rolodex, you know?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. He can't remember. He's shagged so many of them. He's such an illustrious career and, like, promiscuity. He's having the time of his life. He doesn't.
And you are Nuzlocking? Is that right?
I'm doing baby Nuzlocke. So I did it in the sense that I caught the first Pokemon I encountered. The death thing, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I've never done it before. And then Bugsy ruined my fucking life. And at that point, I was already so behind. I was like, all of my Pokemon were dead. I was like, I just can't, like, I need to just blitz through and maybe I'll pick it up again when I've caught up with ye, which I actually did at Lake of Rage.
Yeah.
And then I was again so behind that I kind of stopped. So my kill count was 1 and stayed at 1.
Well,
I don't know how ye did Nuzlocke for this. Like, I have so much more respect for ye because
thank you.
It's just insane. It was totally insane.
I feel like we're doing a good job of Nuzlocke. Like, neither of us have a ton of deaths yet.
We're doing better than we did in Fire Red Leaf Green, I think, by this point.
Yes, I will say.
Yeah.
Incredible feats by the two of you, and you can see the cogs like turning with everything you're doing and being way more careful. But I'll maybe do it for a game that I'm not on the show with, because like even when I got to Lake of Rage, I lost someone there, and I was like, I have made a terrible, grievous error here.
Well, these are Lou Bega's lovers, so, you know, he's not a murderer.
Yeah.
And
he's not responsible for it.
I do want to thank you for going through all of that, Fionnuala, because it did give me time to finish the notes, which I didn't have time to do before we started. But I do want to quickly jump back to Lou Bega, because I do know a lot about Lou Bega. He's German.
He is?
Yep.
Secretly.
And his name is actually David Lou Bega.
Oh.
And Lou Bega it's his last name, and it's one word. And then he changed his name to Lou.
There you go.
Bega.
There you go.
To be a performer.
Fascinating.
Just some of my Lou Bega facts.
I named my rival Venga because the Vengaboys knocked Lou Bega off the #1 spot in the UK.
Yeah, well, the Vengaboys are coming.
They are coming. And as far as I'm aware, everybody is jumping.
Yeah, that sounds right. Last week, we ended our journey in a town called Olivine City. Was that just last week?
Yeah, we finally get to leave Olivine. We've been in Olivine for so many weeks.
I do want to quickly check in real quick with Josh, because we agreed that I had missed some Safari Zone opportunities.
Well, and I did too, but I purposefully did, and I did not go back. I'm saving them out of spite, as I said.
I did go back. I caught a Doduo and an Abra, and then everyone else fled.
Okay.
So now you know I'm equipped with that, and maybe you should be a little scared.
I'd love to see a Dodrio on the field. I would not love to see another Alakazam, because I already have that, and that's not interesting to listeners if we both have one. So you shouldn't run that.
They're not very interesting to look at either. I'm not running the Alakazam.
I do like Alakazam quite a bit, but I have fallen in the trap once again of having to run it. I require a Psychic, and I'm not running Mr. Mime, and I would only do Drowsy if Alakazam dies.
You don't have any other Psychic types at all?
No. That Girafarig ran away, so all I got is a Drowsy and a Mr. Mime.
Okay, thank you, Josh, for talking at length, because it did give me a chance to then actually finish my notes just there.
We're all vamping without knowing. You just like set me and Fionnuala up, and then we just start like ranting about
That's
some
what makes
shit.
me such a great host, you know?
That's why it's Tanner take the wheel and not Joshy. When Joshy takes the wheel, I just use it as a soapbox.
Now I'm actually here. I'm actually engaged with both of you. I'm ready to talk. We smashed Jasmine into the dirt last week in Olivine City, and now we have a long journey back across the map, back through Moo Moo Farm, back through Ecruteak City, and then onward to Route 42.
We finally get to go through that little path with the monks who wouldn't let you through until you had Morty's. Oh, yeah, sorry. I went up there and I was like, oh, right, we can't do anything until you have the rainbow wing.
This is the bell tower.
Yeah, exactly. Bell Tower.
My game doesn't have any business going up there because I'm playing Soul Silver. I can't catch Ho-Ho, can I?
I didn't know this. I didn't think you could, but you can only do it once you get to Kanto. As far as I'm aware, I'm very much open to correction on that, Bowcatchers.
I think that's right, yeah.
Because Price gave us Whirlpool, so I can now go back down to Whirl Islands and get my Luigi.
But you have to kill. You have to kill it.
I have to kill it?
Right? I mean, it's.
Yeah.
Can you catch it?
Yeah, I can catch it.
I don't think so, because it's technically a scripted encounter, I think. Because
is it?
It's sitting there.
Yeah, I think you have to go and, in the same way that we have to go and sort out Ho-Oh, I think you have to go down and sort out Luigi in the basement.
Well, you can leave Luigi there.
I'm not interested in it
My
anyway.
question
I don't
is,
want it.
if you somehow made it all the way to the bottom of the Whirl Islands where it lives without encountering another Pokemon, can you catch it?
No. Sorry.
Well, we always said you can't catch the Snorlaxes that block paths.
I think it's in the scripted category, so no.
Okay.
Also,
you know what?
You never
Fuck it, I
fucking
don't want
make it.
I don't even want it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I'm not getting Luigi. And
Let's
I don't
move
want
on to Route 42. It's to the east
Route
of
42.
Ecruteak.
Oh, should I check in? Because I actually went to the Pokathlon Dome. Is that something you guys want to hear about?
We got a lot of bug catchers clamoring for somebody to go to the Pokeathlon, and
Everyone
still didn't have
kept
time,
telling
and I forgot.
me. They said all the stones and shit, all the evolutionary items are here in the Pokathlon Dome. So I went. Here's what the Pokathlon Dome is. Have you either of you ever played the WarioWare games for like Wii?
No. I'm very familiar with it.
I did a bit of Pokatloning, but I didn't bother in the end. I was looking for a stone and then gave up.
It's all mini games in a way that I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be battles, but it's literally like stylus tapping mini games where you're like jumping over hurdles and like collecting flags and shit like that. Like it all happens on your bottom screen. Your Pokemon usually choose like 3 Pokemon and they run around doing some little errand or fun little mini game.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting it. It is kind of fun.
It is.
And there's like a pretty good opportunity to win points because I feel like my team is probably over leveled for it. So like I had lots of good stats and I collected lots of points.
Did you get any of that good shit?
Well, here's the thing is like I went to the shop and the store cycles every single day. So every single day there's a whole new set of items that are available, and on Mondays you can get the Firestone, and on like Thursdays you can get the Metal Coat and shit like that. So it took a lot of effort. It took a lot of playing mini games, but I earned enough cash to get both the Firestone I needed to evolve my Vulpix and the Metal Coat I needed to evolve my Scyther. What's his name?
Scyther, Jesus Christ.
I was not expecting a Scizor to be involved at this stage. I'm not looking forward to that.
Oh, and I got a Leaf Stone. I got a Leaf Stone to evolve a new Pokemon that is new to the team.
Okay.
That I'll describe during
problematic.
level check.
All of that.
There are a ton of different games at the Pokathlon. Usually when you do an event, they're based on stats. It's like, these are the strength games or the speed games. And then there will be, I think, 3, maybe 4 mini games in each event. So like if you choose speed, you'll like do one game where you're jumping over hurdles, and you'll do another game where you're kind of like sprinting across like a, you know, like a relay race, and another one where you're like doing laps. And the AI opponents are not great.
They're bad.
So it's usually pretty easy to get lots of points, which then just translates to lots of like Pokathlon credits.
So I'm going to have to do it.
So it's kind of a good way to get some good items.
If you're arsed, like you can do it very quickly. I was trying to get a water stone, and then I just ended up deciding not to swap the water Pokemon that I had. I was just like, I'm not arsed. I loved the one where you to smack there's one where you have to like karate chop like a load of stones.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun because you're just like frantically tapping the screen.
It's like weirdly slightly more engaging than the regular. I just feel like I've gotten so used to the Pokemon mechanics that I can like do it in my sleep. Like I just sit and watch TV while I'm wandering around and battling. But this was a slightly different mechanic and pretty fun and interesting. Wasn't that the whole thing about Stadium too? I never played Pokemon Stadium, but wasn't it all about like mini games?
Yes. The mini games are great.
There's probably a lot of overlap.
There's one that's like a licky tongue, Hungry Hippos take, where they use their tongues to
Yuck.
lap up a bunch of sushi or something.
Incredible.
Yuck.
Bunch of good games.
So we all went on our little side journeys this week, but we all eventually found our way back to Route 42. Route 42 is sort of a weird route because it's like it's both land and sea. And you kind of have the choice to either like cut across the ocean with surf or dive into Mount Mortar, I think, to find your way over.
Yep.
I just surfed, so I don't even know if there's like a connecting path between. Like, can you go through Mount Mortar and find your way?
Yeah, I did both because I just wanted to like see everything out there and catch them on. You cannot do the entirety of Mount Mortar yet, but we get strength because as soon as you walk near it, some hiker like bumbles into you.
Oh, yeah.
And he throws HMO4 strength at you, continuing that trend of like random people just like hucking them at you.
They're so weird with the HMs this gen. Like they're just like they've really like just plummeting in value, like with the way people are flinging them around.
You used to have to earn it,
it's like,
you know?
Silphco must have like a new product line where they just have these generic types of HMs, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't a lot to do in Route 42. I'll just say I caught a Spearow.
Okay.
So now I can finally fly. And now I can take to the skies.
That's good.
Because previously I didn't have much in the way of flying Pokemon, so.
I don't think I caught anything.
What'd you catch, Josh?
I caught a Mankey, Hal Jordan.
Oh.
Jordan.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Are you going to run it? You ran a Primate previously, right?
I have. I like Primate, but I'm not doing it.
Cool. And then I went into Mount Mortar just to catch something, and I went to go catch a Machop, and I killed it in one hit.
Oh.
My first whiff of the game.
Well, that reminds me of just like, this is where I realized it, but my complaint with this whole leg is like, what the hell happened to the levels here? I feel like the highest level wild Pokemon was like 20. And most of them are like 14 or 15.
They're tiny little like infant baby Pokemon that were just coming through and like smashing them.
Right. Even over at Lake of Rage, the Rockets for the most part were under-leveled. Like the only one who had acceptable levels was Price. And even if we were still abiding by the level cap rule of only going to the highest level of the gym leader, and his was 34.
Yeah.
That still would have been way higher than basically everyone else's Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I got him a Machop, and I did catch it. Because I just used Snover to whittle it down with Leech Seed and the Hail, and then I threw out Ampharos to throw a Thunder Wave on it and then catch it.
Thank God Snover's finally earning his keep.
Oh, in a big way.
In a big way.
At what point do you evolve that thing?
Maybe I did.
Or does it evolve on its own? Is it what's the evolution mechanic for
Level
Snover?
40 is the problem.
Oh, you're not too far off.
Maybe I'm really not far off.
Oh, maybe you're already there. Maybe you're already there. We'll have to wait for
Maybe I had enough and I just fucking threw some rare candies at that thing.
The other nice part about Pokathlon, if you're not trying to just grind to earn stones and metal coats and shit, is they have rare candies too.
Do they?
Damn.
Yeah, your Pokemon are not eligible. Like, you don't gain any experience in Pokathlon from the games, but you can rack up those sweet rare candies that way. They're very expensive, so it's probably not the best approach. But
I wish I'd known that. I could have done that and not trained extensively.
Yeah, I think it depends on the Pokemon that it could be more worthwhile to grind it out for rare candies. Because, like, as you all know, training the Snover has been just the bane of my existence. And I did not do Pokeathlon, but I had a few, and I just fucking threw it away. I didn't care anymore.
It's just as you say it, like these latter routes are incredibly pissy. Like even when I was training for this, like I went back to the patch of grass outside Safari Zone.
Oh, same.
Or like went surfing around between Olivine and Cyanwood because it was like everyone else was just not up to scratch.
Yeah, it's still the only place to train, and it's confounding that so many of these Pokemon are underleveled, and even the trainers' Pokemon in these new areas, because they were gated.
Yeah.
So there isn't any reason that there should be a bunch of level 14 Machops running around. They should be level like 25 or 30.
You don't really have access to this area before now, right?
No. You're gated because you don't have strength or surf.
Right,
so
right,
you
right.
can't go any further. So it makes the only part it makes sense that they would be lower level is the first like quarter of Route 42.
Yeah.
But once you use strength and you're in the second part of like Mount Mortar, all of that shit should be higher, and they never raise it.
God, you're really fucking fired up about this, Josh.
Well, because
I've never seen you so angry.
I'm sick of that one patch on Route 48 underneath the Safari Zone. I'm sick of the Fearos. I'm sick of that gloom. The Tauros.
If I never see a Tauros
I never
again,
want to see any of
it'll
them
be too
ever
soon.
again.
It'll be too soon.
God.
That's it. It's a pretty quick journey to Mahogany Town, but once you get there, you're kind of stuck because you explore a little bit. There's a little gift shop where they're selling Rage candy bars, which I bought a few of, even though I don't know what they do.
Don't they just like recover like 20 hit points or something? Like they're a total scam?
They
'Cause
are
they're $300.
such a scam.
Well, it's Team Rocket.
They
know?
are those bars from The Simpsons that are made of fucking apple cores. That's what Rage candy bars are. But they're made of like Gyarados bits or something. I don't know.
Scales, yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, look at this though. I'm looking it up on Gen 4.
That's our gen.
You can exchange it for TM64 Explosion in the underground path between routes 5 and 6. But that's in fucking Kanto and Explosion. I can't use Explosion.
You can for battles.
suicide.
Explosion is so good for our battles, though.
I've literally never used in my entire Pokemon career self-destruct or Explosion. I think it's disgusting. And it's a cheat. It's mayor
Josh,
cheat.
neither had I until today. Where I panicked and I was very worried about our future battle and I made some rash decisions. Will they work out?
Oh, scary.
Remains to be seen.
Now we're in Mahogany Town. There's the souvenir shop, which we went to. They're obviously covering something up, right? They're being shady.
Yeah, there's some guy in there who's like, well, there's a little bit of a draft here, huh? That's just from like the AC.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't even bring it up?
There's also like a big tree outside of the souvenir shop that has like
what is that
antenna obviously poking out of the top of it because it's the radio broadcast tower.
You know, I didn't put that together. I kept going up to every square around it and just frantically like pounding A. It's like, is there an item in here?
Once you defeat the Team Rocket hangout, the tree has like burned down or something, and all that's left there is like a broken antenna.
Why did they leave it there? Clean it up, like. What's the council doing? Useless.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Mahogany Town needs new
You have the
governance.
power, guys.
This is a mess.
Rock the vote, etc.
Mayor Stanner sounds pretty good.
Mayor Tanner does sound good. You know what sounds even better? Mayor
Cheat.
Tanner. I'll port myself into the game. You can't do anything here because the gym is blocked by some oaf who won't get out of your way.
He's like, hey, you got some, you tried some of those Rage candy bars? Why don't you go try some of those Rage candy bars?
It's a racket. Because when you try to leave to the east, too, some guy pushes you back and he's like, you literally cannot leave this town until you try a Rage candy bar. Go back and buy a Rage candy bar. And even if you do, he's just like, too bad, man.
What if you had more Rage
Eat
candy
it in front
bars?
of me. I want to see you eat it.
Like, sensually.
And when you say no, he's just like, okay, then I will not let you.
Capitalism does horrible things to people.
I know.
Mahogany Town is the example.
You make your way north on Route 43 towards the Lake of Rage because you hear that there's a little bit of hubbub up there because apparently there's some kind of radio broadcast that is driving the Pokemon in the Lake of Rage mad and forcing them to evolve against their will.
Mm-hmm.
Route 43 is, I think, one of the most irritating routes in the whole game.
Oh, man.
Really? I like the aesthetic of this whole area.
It's nice
like
looking.
It looks great.
Yeah. It's just annoying that your only options are to either like trudge through tall grass or go through that stupid gatehouse where those two like Team Rocket idiots are like hanging out.
They charge you $1,000, and you still have to do most of the grass.
I completely forgot and went through and was like, oh fuck, but like needed to train, so to go back around, it was just absolutely a humiliating experience.
It sucked.
Did you guys catch anything sweet in this area?
Yeah.
What'd you catch?
A Venonat.
Yeah.
Brightwing.
Is what I have to say to that, Josh.
Come on.
I don't know if I have ever seen Venonat as a viable You Make Me Barf Pokemon candidate before this gen, but seeing it in this full 16-bit beauty, it's ugly. It's got big, ugly bug eyes.
I don't think so.
It's like a Furby almost. It looks like a Furby with bug eyes. Do you guys have Furbies in Ireland?
Yes, we do. And I was obsessed with them. I actually wasn't ever allowed to have one, so I coveted my cousin's one. My mom was like, do not bring one of them into the house, because like, you know, they like never really went to sleep and they'd wake up in the middle of the night, be like,
say weird things.
Yeah, like absolutely haunted shit. Loved them. Venonat would have been my sweetie. So little furry cutie thing, and you just want to go up and pick it up and give it a big hug. So cute, in a route that I think there was no strong contenders for nice looking Pokemon. Like Venonat was streets ahead.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think like comparatively Venonat is looking great in its set.
Looks divine.
I hate Furbies though. And I will say this because I have a good anecdote that gives you a little like picture of young Josh, where my aunt gave me a Furby for like Christmas or something when they were hot. And I didn't want one. But they're like these Orange County Republicans. They just like buy whatever the new thing is. And like they have horses that they don't even ride. I hate them. I don't talk to those people. And if they ever listen to this podcast, fuck you. But she got me this Furby and I had it for like a week and I could not deal with listening to it say, feed me, or like, I'm Furby, or whatever it fucking does. And growing up, we had a pond in my backyard, humble brag, and I'll take a drink for that quickly. And our deck was like way above it. And one morning when it was telling me to feed it, I literally ran downstairs from my bedroom and I just fucking hucked it into the pond.
It's still chirping away down there at the bottom.
There. Yeah. It's turned into some like kind of like Lovecraftian horror down there now. You guys see this? You guys see what I'm sharing here? You guys see what I'm sharing on my screen?
Yeah, Tanner's presenting his screen.
Why are you bringing up these horrible, realistic drawings of Venonat that makes it look like a dust bunny penis mouth? It's like, I liked my image. I liked my reality. There was no need for you to spoil it like that.
That's what I see when I look at Venonat. So I just wanted to bring you into my dark, twisted world.
I have a fondness for Venomoth. I've run it before.
Venomoth is
I
kind
appreciate. It's like the more adult version of like Butterfree.
Yeah.
Like it gets Psybeam and it gets Sleep Powder and a bunch of shit that Butterfree does, but it has better stats.
I appreciate the name you gave it, Brightwing. It's my favorite. That's my main, so to speak, on
Heroes of the Storm. Yeah.
I love playing as Brightwing.
I like Brightwing, yeah.
Brightwing is a little like dragon with butterfly wings for bug catchers who are uninitiated into the world of HOTS.
Did you officially invoke, is this your barf?
Yes, so
Venonat?
Venonat is my You Make Me Barf Pokemon of the week. Next up was Lake of Rage, where all the action goes down in this leg. And Josh, I would love to hear about sort of your journey into the Lake of Rage.
No, I don't have anything to say.
Okay, great. Let's take a break then.
You were asking me for my opinion.
Yeah, welcome back, Josh. I want your opinion on the Lake of Rage.
I've always liked Lake of Rage. I think it's always been like a unique environment. The music is cool. The thunderstorm is like all enveloping, and it reminded me of when Kyogre tries to drown the world. The main thing, though, that I thought was cool, that was dumb in Gold and Silver, was that there's that maze of trees over on the west side, like the little saplings.
Oh yeah, what is that?
You can find one of the what are they? The weekday siblings. One of them hangs out over there, at least in Gold and Silver, and I don't know if they do in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, but I presume. And in this one, the trees are all like flooded. So the maze is flooded, and it's like, that makes sense. Like these little tiny trees would be halfway underwater because it's a storm that's unexpected.
What a beautiful set piece.
And you can also find the choice specs are out here now.
The choice specs are actually kind of fly, right?
Yeah, that's the one that we had a little trouble comprehending previously, but it's the one that makes one specific special move. Like you get to choose one of them when you come out.
Yes.
And you can only use that move, but it will be 1.5 times the power.
Hell of a...
And did anyone put that on their Pokemon for this battle that we'll be doing? I don't know. But maybe somebody did.
I think I got that.
Yeah.
Fionnuala, thoughts on this beautiful landscape of Lake of Rage?
Again, as a kid, and like when you were like, when do you want to come on? I was like, Mahogany Town, because everything's happening, like Rage, blah, blah. And then I went and did it, and like you do it, and it's like, not much actually happens at Lake of Rage. But I do agree, extremely beautiful. I like that the Gyarados is actually milling around the lake. He's mad, and he's moving, and he's so red and beautiful. That was enjoyable. I did think it looked a lot better, but again, my memories of it, I was like, I thought there was more emphasis on the rage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that the Red Gyarados is like a few squares now, and it roams around. Yeah. That was cool too.
Have either of you ever seen the film Dante's Peak?
Of course.
No, I haven't. And is Pierce Brosnan in that?
That's the Pierce Brosnan one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although I am a Volcano stan with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
And I think that is a dichotomy.
Do you have to be one or the other?
I think so.
The two genders.
I've gotten in this fight countless times with Bobby.
I'm a Dante's Peak man. I do see some merits in Volcano under Los Angeles, the full name of the film.
Really?
You don't even know the full name of the film, so.
Oh.
Fake fan.
Okay. Fanboy,
I'll
but
just step away.
There's a scene, I invoke Dante's Peak quite often. I'm going to Iceland with my parents and my wife and son in August, and they're talking up the hot springs.
Sorry, that's a brag. We're going to talk about Josh's pond, and Tanner's going to throw in here that he's going to Iceland?
You're doing an international trip in this economy?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't relate.
Yeah, well,
honestly.
Yeah.
My mom's paying for it. But they keep talking about these hot springs, and I don't know if either of you remember the film, but at the beginning of the film, it opens up with two teens canoodling in a hot springs in Colorado, and then a volcanic vent opens up in the hot springs, and they flash boil to death.
Yeah.
So I won't get in hot springs because of that film. Because
wow.
That's unpredictable. Who could say?
The water is actually also supposed to be terrible for your hair. And Tanner, you have such lovely curls. You wouldn't want to jeopardize them either, you know?
He does have a much better hairline than me.
There's a scene in the film later on where they go to the grandma's house to wait out the volcano erupting, and it gets destroyed by a volcano, so they flee. And they're going across the lake on a boat, and they realize that the lake has become acidic and is eating through the boat, and they're not going to make it to the other side in time. So Grandma sacrifices herself by jumping out of the boat and pushing it to the other side with all the kids in it.
Oh my God.
And she gets eaten up by the acid in the lake. And it's like boiling. And that's what I imagine when I think of Lake of Rage.
Jesus.
Wow.
So sorry to introduce that energy to the podcast, but that is kind of what I think of. But instead, what we have is just a lake, and there's some people around admiring it and admiring the Pokemon who are all being driven mad, including in the center of the lake, splishing and splashing around, a little Red Gyarados.
Yeah.
You swim out there, you drop a repel, obviously, because you don't want to catch any like Magikarps on the way out, right? You battle this.
Okay, keep going. I guess I see where you're going, and I feel like
the Kill Bill siren is going off in my head.
Huh.
This is a mayor
Now,
cheat,
this is worthy of discussion, because what I did was I dropped a repel, and I swam out to the Gyarados, and I battled it, and I caught it.
It's a scripted encounter, because you have to encounter it in order to advance the storyline.
Yeah.
Mayor Cheat.
Yeah, I see that now.
Secretary Cheatsportation over here.
Luckily, it got boxed immediately, and I haven't...
Conda cheats are ice.
I haven't taken it out yet. But,
That's good.
Shiny's Claws. Does that
yeah, although
supersede
I think it
the-
also means you can't use it, but you can catch it.
Okay, I did catch it and I immediately
But
boxed
you
it.
could, I guess, use it in a fucking future generation. I hate this. I hate that you did this, Tanner. And this is a big Mayor cheat.
I haven't used it at all. It's been in the box since
And
I
I
got
wish
it.
you had bought the Mayor cheat shirt in our store.
Yeah.
That you
I
should be
did buy
wearing it
it.
right now like a
I
scarlet
bought
letter.
every shirt in our store. I had to have a discussion with my wife the other day about finances. I was like, I bought 6 shirts from my own merch shop.
But you're
so-
helping yourself too with those.
That's true. It's just
kickbacks.
going back into my own coffers. So who cares?
Circular economy.
I killed it because that's what you should do. But I did catch a normal Gyarados because of the dupes clause.
Yeah.
And I named it the boss for Bruce Springsteen.
Hell yeah.
Oh, excellent.
If I bring a Gyarados out, that's the fucking boss. I mean,
That is the
are
boss.
you kidding me?
Well, I caught this fucking Gyarados and I named it Red after the AIDS Foundation because it's a red Gyarados.
Well, that's
But
good.
I'm just gonna.
And that's a
keep it
lot
in the
better of
damn
a
box.
charity. I feel like you've been helping golfers mostly. Like, good. Help defeat AIDS. Like, stop helping all these golfers.
Yeah, I decided to.
Tanner's like, disease! A noble sportsman.
I want to help this animal in this park. This one park has echidnas, and that's who I want to help. Once you beat it, I don't really remember what happens. Something about a scale. Do we collect a scale
you
at this point?
collect a red scale from where it was, regardless of if you cheated and caught it or if you killed it, which is what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
And then Lance touches down.
Oh, fucking
My
Lance.
childhood crush.
Sorry.
Looking better than ever.
Lance,
Oh, he
like
can get
Hot
it
Boy
big time.
Summer. That man, my God, I love him.
He's looking so good in this game. He's got such a strong presence.
The hair!
He's got his Dragonite trailing behind him everywhere he goes.
Oh, the Dragonite looks beautiful too.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
The trench coat. He's got it all.
I owe an apology to Bugcatcher Morganite because I feel like I've trashed Dragonite in the past, but
You have.
what a beautiful Pokemon.
But that demonstrates growth.
And what a strong Pokemon, because I battled side by side with Lance this week, and God, it just felt good, and that Dragonite was out there just doing his work.
Yeah.
I will say I found the Dragonite slightly useless in that battle. It got like immediately paralyzed.
Oh, really?
And I was like, Lance, what are we doing
And it was
here?
level 40.
Yeah, and I was immediately like, all right, I'm carrying this, so fair enough.
It died in my battle at one point, and then it was just my Alakazam versus, whatever.
Sorry, that's so embarrassing for Lance.
Yeah.
Last week after the podcast, Josh and I were complaining about getting a DMCA takedown from Nintendo on one of our shirts, and we were looking around T Public and being just like outrage porning together to be like, look, here's another Pokemon design. And we found a beautiful shirt design where someone just took the Lance sprite and dropped it onto a shirt.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy it at the time, but I wish I had, and I just went back to go look for it, and it's gone now.
Josh, you were going to get a surprise package at some stage again.
We were like assembling our legal argument. I'm like, how can I go and search Pokemon on TeePublic and you have people who are just selling literally the sprite of Lance and you're taking down our original transformative art based on these characters.
Yeah.
Although ultimately we got it all sorted out.
Yeah, we're in a good
We
place now.
think that Nintendo specifically trademarked Pikachu and Pokeballs, which were removed. You'll notice our art in the shops does not have the little Pokeball in the logo.
Yeah.
Why did they cancel Butterfree? I don't know. I mean,
It wasn't even Butterfree.
Margarine free.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good cover.
Thank you.
Margarine free, Jesus Christ.
Where are we?
So we got accosted by Lance, and then we have to go south back to Mahogany Town because he tells us that the radio signal is coming from the souvenir shop, and he tells us to meet him there.
No shit. Thanks, Lance.
Yeah. You mean that jangly little like antenna that's sticking out right next to it?
So yeah, we head back south, back to Mahogany Town, and we go back to the souvenir shop. And sure enough, it turns out the whole dang place is run by Team Rocket, and there's a huge underground facility, and it's exactly as I remember it from Gen 2. You're walking around, you're interacting with statues that draw out Team Rocket members by the pair. It's always a pair.
And the same fucking Pokemon.
Yeah, they always have the same Pokemon.
It's like coughing, Rattata,
Grimer.
This is again like big upgrade. The statues are like a Persian in tribute to Giovanni.
Oh yeah.
And their eyes light up red, and then it will go like it flashes red on the screen.
Yeah, the lights
was
flashing
cool.
were so cool.
It's cool, but when you're trying to just like get through it, you know, it's like I got a podcast to record tomorrow or whatever. Like I've got to get through this. And then all of a sudden, like you pass a Persian statue, which there are like 10 of.
Oh, so many.
And it goes through this whole rigmarole of like flashing and doing sirens, and the Team Rocket members all run up. But yeah, it looks great. And there's also this new feature where there's kind of like a set of tiles that you have to walk over.
Yeah.
And depending on the color you walk on, you'll see this little like plume of either rocks or poison or electricity, I think, sort of like come up around you.
Yeah, Voltorb's coughing Geodudes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
I actually spent some time there just fighting them to gain some EXP, but I debated in my head for a second. I was like, is this a catchable area then, technically? Which I think maybe
I caught a Pokemon in Team Rocket HQ.
but I didn't care. I was like, I have all of this shit and I don't care.
Yeah, I stayed extremely away from there. I couldn't. I went over it by accident at one stage. I was like, Jesus Christ, I fucking hate this. Get me out of here. It's not even. I'm wasting my time.
The gimmick down here is that you need to find passwords.
Yeah.
You need to get the Team Rocket members to give you passwords to progress through the Team Rocket HQ here. So you eventually find your way to one and then another, but the final password to get into like the power center of the entire facility needs to be spoken by this wormy little man called
Petrel.
Who's
Who's like a Giovanni cosplayer, because he looks like Giovanni, and then like you interact with him and he's like, I'm Giovanni, and then you're like, no.
He's just a wormy little guy.
Some guy with like pink hair fucking sucks.
He's such a loser. Sorry. Like, such a loser.
He's like middle-aged. He's like hunched over, you know, not to be ageist. I'm sure Giovanni's middle-aged too, but you know what Giovanni does that Petrel doesn't do?
Petrel, yeah.
Giovanni cares about his body, you know, he puts work into it. Giovanni looks good. Petrel is just giving up.
He makes the password for the final room where the radio signal is Hail Giovanni.
That's in bad taste, isn't it?
Sounds bad.
Yeah.
The other thing about Petrel is that he has a pet Murkrow.
Yeah.
And this is something I didn't know about Murkrows, but they are mimics.
Apparently. I discovered this in this leg as well.
This Murkrow mimics so well that he sounds exactly like Petrel. So then you have to chase down the Murkrow through the entire facility until he gets back to
backtrack through like 5 levels of this thing.
Yeah, until he gets back to the power center. And then once you're there, and Dreamboat Lance meets up with you again, and he's like, let's do this thing. Let's burn this place to the ground.
I asked if he wanted a kiss first, but he wasn't into it.
Oh, I didn't get that option.
Maybe that's a heart gold thing.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity, do you want to ask Lance for a kiss? And I said yes, but he said no. And I respected it.
I fucked him.
Shoot your shot.
You did. They gave you that option?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm being introspective. I'm like, what is it about my character that I didn't even get the option to kiss or fuck him?
Yeah.
You know, like...
Maybe it's time for some self-reflection.
I know.
Right.
This is why I didn't get invited on Gotta Snatch 'Em All.
That's right.
Alex, you're being called out.
We talked about this beforehand, but Fionnuala just recorded on Gotta Snatch 'Em All, which I was on a few weeks ago, and she had a great interview with our friend Alex.
So now 2 of the three people on this podcast have been on that one, and
Yeah, well, you're an ally. I think.
I'm an ally.
Maybe.
I'm an ally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More of an ally than not.
Yeah, that's fair. So you and Lance split up. Lance goes and takes care of the right 3 electrodes. You're responsible for going and taking care of the left 3 electrodes.
I do have to ask though, right? So you know the way that happens, you go up and like me and Lance have finished up and Lance is like, right, you take the left side, I'll take the right. There's no other option. We have to make them faint. I was like, this is all a bit like, surely we could just catch them. And Lance is like, no, they must die.
I killed
I
him.
was a bit taken aback.
Electrode sucks.
I killed them absolutely as well. I did not mere cheat, but I was a bit taken aback by how abrasive Lance was about the whole thing.
And I have to admit, this is another place where I kind of let my
Inner cheater.
logical mind go by the wayside. I caught an electrode, one of these electrodes.
Mm-hmm.
No.
all I got attacked by was a coughing and a Geodude, and I already had those. So I caught an Electrode here, even though it is a scripted event.
Okay, well, you can't use any of this shit.
Well, like, I'm going to fucking use an Electrode, Joshua.
So why even catch it?
Because you have to. It's chaff.
You don't.
You have the zombie claws.
Oh, because you're trying to bank things that you can use to heal a potential zombie in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I ever lose one of my sweeties, like Sizor or for alligator, you know, like I need meat.
It's a
in the
good point.
bank.
I mean, I think it's questionable whether or not you could use something that technically you shouldn't be able to catch as a sacrifice to maintain a champion, but
Yeah.
we'll
cross that bridge when we get to it.
We'll burn that
Yeah.
bridge when we get
We'll
to
burn
it.
that bridge when we get to it.
As Tom Cruise says in Mission Impossible 5, the best one, Fallout.
You can't even remember which movie it is, and you're saying
I just know it's
one.
Fallout, and I don't remember which one
God,
it is.
it's just like you and your volcano movies.
God damn it.
You approach the power station, and Ariana's there, and so is some other, like, Team Rocket crony, and she's like, you've bested us every step of the journey, but now we are going to double team you, and you will be fucked.
But like, not in a
And
fun
that's
way.
when Lance swoops in, and he's like, I will save the day. Yeah, not
in the way you'd
double
want.
team in
Exactly.
a fun way.
No.
And that's when you do the double battle with Lance, which I actually had a lot of luck with. Lance's Dragonite was very strong for me.
Sucked for me, but I had...
Maybe you guys kissed him and fucked him, but, like, you know, he was there to support me and lift me up when I needed him, so.
Great lover, terrible trainer.
You defeat the Electrodes, you blow up the radio tower, the enraged Magikarps go back to being normal, dumb Magikarps.
Yeah.
And Price returns to his gym at last. And we can finally do what we all set out to do on this leg of the journey, which is go and crush Price.
Get some crushed ice. Thank you. I'm actually pretty proud of that.
His gym is interesting. It's all slidey ice puzzles, and some of the raddest gym trainers I've ever seen in my life. They're all like
These
extreme
hot
skiers,
yeah.
and they have like neon puffy jackets on. They look cool as hell, but they almost all have just like the same seals and dugongs
And
across the board.
That reminds me. Do you know who Joshy Sweetie is this week?
Tell me. I'm dying to hear.
You're my sweetie every week, Tanner.
Thank you.
It's Dugong.
Dugong is quite a sweetie.
Always been looking pretty good, but like this sprite with those little fangs and the little horn and
A little tiny horn.
the floppy flippers. Ooh.
And it does a little bark.
Yeah, it does a little bark when it comes
Its
out now.
animation is a little like, ruff!
Dugong.
It's cute.
That little wry smile just,
So cute.
tickles me.
Very saucy.
I will say though, these fucking dugongs and seals drove me fucking crazy this week because they all have rest and they'll use it like liberally.
Well, I killed all of them in one hit, so I don't know.
Because of the strategy I was deploying, could never kill them in one hit. So they would always rest and recover, and like it just became like a PP battle at that point.
I just used Ampharos on all of it, other than Swinub.
Yeah, I eventually moved over to a Rotom strategy in here. So I got through it, no problems.
No problems.
Josh, Fionnuala, any issues?
Nah.
Very, very fine. I do not have an electric type, but I managed.
Oh, it's so nice for me to hear that you do not have an electric type. That's great for what's about to come up next.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be fucked.
I'm not loving what I'm seeing, and the choices that I've made are not looking ideal anymore for level check.
That's the journey this week. Next up is obviously our hit segment that we do every week without fail. Level check. Fionnuala, I would love for you to start and tell me about your Bega's team.
Coming up front, a little bit of Monica in my life. Meganium. Chikorita is my fave. So I was like, there's no way. I don't care about the trainer ID. Fuck this. I'm just going to run my grass gal.
Favorite starter, right?
Yes.
Across all the starters?
Favorite Pokemon.
Favorite overall Pokemon.
Yeah.
Not Meganium?
I hold sentimental value towards it. I recognize that it's definitely not like the best, but it was the first starter that I finished a game with. So I'm just always like,
Yeah.
I vibe with you.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, that's Monica.
Level.
Level 43.
Jesus.
Oh,
We're fucked.
holy
We're
shit.
fucked.
Oh, no.
Sorry guys, I am coming in here with an agenda because I came in big swinging dick the last 2 episodes saying I was going to win and then I didn't. So I'm here with a vengeance now. And I panicked because Tanner has been such a dark horse with his levels. So I was like, I need to be Olive, as they say in Irish, and I need to be prepared. But that's the highest. She's the highest. Nobody else is.
Oh. Okay, maybe. Okay.
A little bit of Erica by my side. Knocked out. Level 39.
Okay.
Caught Hoot Hoot around.
Hoot Hoot.
Like at the start.
Sorry, we say Hoot Hoot?
Just kept. Hoot Hoot. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry.
Yes.
A little bit of Tina's. All I need. Nidoking. Level 39.
Ooh.
I
Interesting.
loved this.
That's
I got a Nidoran.
fun.
Yeah,
That's fun.
I never ran one before. Got it around Goldenrod or one of the routes around there, I think.
Yeah. 35, 36.
I was like, am I bothered? And then my mom was getting all the money. I found out that was like one of the only ways to get a moonstone. And I was like, oh, if I can get one soon, then I'll keep him. And lo and behold, she pulled through for me. Thank God. So thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
A little bit of Rita's, all I see. Quagsire, level 39.
Interesting.
Oh, wow. This is
I
fascinating.
did not want Quagsire. Got a Wooper again on that route down to Azalea Town. Was debating about switching that out with the Poliwag, but kind of love that it has the ground moves as well and it's water
Yeah.
ground. It's been
That's
quite
kinda cool.
It's
useful.
a cool combo for sure. Yeah, it's useful.
So that's Rita. And then we have a little Sandra in the sun. This is Golem, level 38.
Oh, same. I got one of those.
I did a little bit of mare cheating myself and self-traded this week because I've never ran a Golem either.
Self-trading is sanctioned.
Great.
No mayor cheat.
No mare cheat. And then a little bit of Mary all night long. Growlithe, level
Ooh.
38.
Growlithe could get it for sure, yeah.
Growlithe could get it and has been fine and has filled a gap, but I feel like I should have invoked the Champions Clause thing and just gotten my Rapidash and brought that over from Platinum because
Oh, yeah.
Growlithe doesn't evolve until fucking 47.
Wait, is it not a Firestone evolve?
No.
It's a Firestone.
Is it?
Growlithe is a Firestone, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have absolutely.
It's the equivalent to Vulpix.
The thing is, though, and I'll be curious if Tanner thought about this with his Vulpix, you don't want to use the stone until it's gotten all the moves that you want, that it learns naturally, because it won't learn anything once it's evolved
Yeah,
via
I
stone.
always look that up.
This was the mistake I made. I think I Googled that and saw something being like, oh, it learns Flare Blitz at 47, but whatever way I read that, I was like, it doesn't evolve until 47. So I was like, for fuck's sake, I have shanked myself. I should have evolved this.
Well, it's hard getting those dang Firestones, though. You would have had to spend a ton of time in Pokathlon, so.
But it was at the Pokathlon one of the days, and I was like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Oh, idiot.
You
Anyway,
got good
that's
levels, though.
Yeah.
I think you have
That's-
a really good chance here.
Yeah, you're not doing
Lou
bad.
Bega and his gals. We shall see. We shall see.
What an interesting set of women Lou Bega has slept with. Monica, Erica, Tina, Rita, Sandra, Mary.
Yeah,
It feels like
diverse.
those are names I would expect older women to have. So I wonder if that's kind of Lou Bega's thing.
Are those names that you would encounter in Germany? I feel like mostly no.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
He's an international man of mystery, you know, like he's well
How
traveled.
many times have you been to Germany, Josh?
Great question.
I touched down in Frankfurt
Once.
in order to leave Prague.
Well, I've spent a lot of time in Germany, and yeah, I'll say these are names you'd see in Germany.
You see a lot of
There you go.
Ericas and Marys in Germany. Mary.
I always make you go
Okay.
before me, Josh, but today I'm going to switch things up a little bit, and I'm going to go before you.
Good.
Spent a lot of time this week in Pokathlon getting items, and also spent a lot of time self-trading. Save a Fox, Ninetales, level 41.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit Golf, Gengar, level 38.
There it is.
Everglade Fun, Feraligatr, level 38.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah, it is. I wrote it down as fun here.
Everglade fun.
1 Million Lights, Rotom, level 36. 3 Rivers, Scizor, level 40.
That's a nightmare.
And then I have a new Pokemon to introduce to the team. An old favorite, but I went and caught a new one using Headbutt back in Violet City.
Uh-huh.
And it is Execute, which I have collected a Leaf Stone and turned into Executor, level 40. And its name is Gift of Parenthood.
Okay.
giftofparenthood.org. The Gift of Parenthood Foundation Board of Directors will select uninsured and underinsured applicants for a grant that can be used towards fertility treatment at any medical facility or laboratory operated by a licensed physician.
I didn't mean to laugh at that. I'm really sorry. I actually laughed before you had said anything, and now I feel terrible.
And that is the charity I will have
That's
to
a
give
good
to
one, Tanner.
if
Good job with the charities this
Gift
week.
of Parenthood
Yeah, that's good. That's very good.
Good job.
Should expire at any point. Joshua, tell me about your team.
Fred Van Vliet, Ampharos, level 37. Rosencrantz, Meganium. Mine's only level 39.
Okay.
Jeff Johns, Golem, level 36.
Yeah.
Tolkien, Alakazam, level 37. And then I am pleased to announce Wickrackrum is now in Abomasnow, and it's level 40.
Wow.
Woo!
I threw some rare candies at it, and I was like, the job is done. Its fucking attack and special attack doubled, so it's not fucking trash anymore.
Nice.
I can't believe it didn't die, but it does have the most hit points on my team now as well, so that's good.
I didn't realize they were so beefy.
I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for it.
They're big boys. They're big boys. And then we have CJ Craig bringing up the rear. Obviously, Poliwhirl, level 38.
So you made a call.
Yeah, but now that I see your team, do I wish that I had gone the Magmar path? Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Will there be a swap next week as a result of this? Perhaps. Let's see how the battle goes.
Seems like a lot of work.
I am loving this Poliwhirl. I am loving it. And I'm not evolving it until it learns Wake Up Slap at level 43.
What is Wake Up Slap?
It's a 70 damage fighting move, and it does that by default. But if the Pokemon is asleep, it does double that.
And wakes it up.
Jesus.
So I could also go to like the move relearner and make the Poliwhirl relearn Hypnosis.
Oh, smart.
Because I caught it before it knew that, and then I could start Mayor sleeping and then Mayor slapping.
Mayor slapping. Yeah. Any changes to kill count for you, Joshua, this week?
No, I stand steady at 4.
Me neither. So let's get down to business.
Let's get down to business.
Mulan.
Yep.
Joshua, you and I will take the first battle. The winner of that battle will then take on Fionnuala. We already do own all of the rights to Bandwagons,
Right.
Social media presences, and everything related to the show. So I'm not quite sure what collateral you have to offer this time, Fionnuala.
My cash.
Those headphones look pretty
Well,
good.
you said your boyfriend were thinking about buying a home. I guess maybe you guys will co-sign with us and we'll kind of be on the lease.
Sure.
Yeah, we could be like your guarantors. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
So
what?
we'll do
That's fair.
that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'd love to have some international property. Yeah.
But to be frank, you're bringing some heat this week, so we might not get there.
I feel like Fionnuala has a good chance of wresting back control of Bandwagons, actually.
Please, God, because Breed is mad. Breed wants the podcast back.
She's had enough of us too. We just talk about Pokemon every week. We're like, this week's bandwagon is Pikachu. All right, well, we're gonna pause now, bug catchers, and we'll be back in a moment to tell you the results of the battle between me and Josh.
Smell you soon.
Joshua, what a battle between
yeah.
you and I just now. Very close. It went down to one Pokemon. You had one Pokemon remaining, but you did defeat me.
Just barely.
Some crucial blows in that one. For a second there, you thought you were done because of a good U-turn coming off of Scizor.
Yeah, one hit KO on my Alakazam.
You did pull it out in the end. You are the victor of Experience Share Pokemon Podcast. And you know what? That's fine.
Thank you.
You and I are opponents now, but ultimately allies in making sure that Fionnuala does not regain control of her own podcast. So
No.
I may have lost the battle, but I anticipate winning the war here.
Fionnuala, any thoughts on that battle before we go in?
Extremely entertaining.
There was a lot of ebbs and flows.
It's gas to see Tanner just actually get better and get it.
It's only been
He's really growing up.
4 generations.
You've been such a little dark horse this generation. Like, you've just come into your own.
He had a beautiful executor strategy with sleep powder.
So even if you did wake up, maybe your boys would be a little bit too into kissing my little lady.
And my Ampharos took quite a liking to that executor.
It's nice having a female executor for that reason, because then I can drop that attract on you. I'm interested in seeing how you two fare in this battle.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
So nervous.
Let's throw to that battle now. Bug catchers, we'll be back in just a moment to let you know what the results of all this battling are.
I have not felt this alive in quite a long time. My podcast is back. I don't have to give you fuckers my future home. Peace is restored. My training was worth it.
It was a hell of a battle. There was a lot of mutually assured destruction in that one, where Joshua would do a thing where he would get Fionnuala down to like deep red, like 1 to 10% health, and then Fionnuala would finish Josh off. But then, of course,
I opened with
hailstorm
the
would come
bomb of
along
snow,
and
so the
kill.
hailstorm was raining down the entire time.
Ugh.
Joshua, I'm disappointed in you, obviously, because I would have loved a home in Ireland.
I've been crushing it for the past few weeks, but whatever.
Don't bring up Never Melt Ice. Don't bring up Never Melt Ice.
Here's something that I had to bring up. Fionnuala has a Nido King that knows Avalanche, which was beautiful. I'll say it's beautiful. That was very smart, and it used Avalanche on my Meganium, and it killed it in one hit. But then Fionnuala let me know that it was holding a Never Melt Ice, and that's an item that you get in the Ice Path, which is part of the next list.
I think at the very least you'll have to allow us to stay at your new place.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My door is always open.
That's Experience Share. It's a Pokemon podcast. Fionnuala, you are the champion of our show and your show and all shows.
Whew!
My name has been Nighter Ranner, a.k.a. Tanner Greening. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Red Gyarados, a.k.a. Joshua Fjellstead. And this week we have had the pleasure of having Fionnuala. Thank you for joining us, bug catchers. This has been Experience Share, a Pokemon podcast. Please do follow us on social media at EXPSharePod on Instagram and Twitter. And please do rate and review the show everywhere that you can do those two things. Even if you don't directly give us currency via our gift shop or listening to our ads, that's one thing you can do. And it's easy and it's effortless. And please go do it.
Give them money, you cheapskates.
Please.
Do please go buy the merch. Fionnuala, anything you want to draw our listeners' attention towards?
I co-host a podcast called Bandwagons with my good friend Breed, where we talk about all the things that other people are talking about. So if you want to join us over there,
Perfect.
we would love to have you.
Thank you for joining us, bug catchers. Thank you for joining us, Fionnuala.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me, Joshua, as always. Been Experience Share, Pokemon Podcast. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Smell you later.